You don't think carbon taxes are going to change the weather?
No, they're not.
Sheila Gunn Reid for the Rebel.media. I'm here tonight at the Friends of Science 16th annual banquet. It's called Polar Bears and Solar Flares, and it's sold out. 450 people bought tickets to tonight's event. These are people who are either climate skeptics, carbon tax skeptics, or just plain open-minded. These are people that the CBC calls deniers and the NDP belittles as uneducated and unscientific. Well, unlike the CBC and unlike the NDP, I'm actually going to take the time to talk to these folks and see what they have to say about the science of climate change and the ability of carbon taxes to affect the weather. Premier Rachel Notley, the mainstream media, they are going to probably discount every single person in this room tonight, all 450 people in this room tonight, as anti-science and as science deniers. As someone who came here with an open mind, what do you have to say about that?
I think she's an idiot. I'm sorry. You know what, really, open your mind. This is much bigger than politics. This is about science, this is about the bigger picture. And if Rachel Notley can't see that, you know, she needs to pull her head.
We get one side in the traditional media, and that's all we hear. I think it's important to educate yourself, and I think it's important to go back to true science.
I think it's they that are closed-minded about things. I think they believe their own propaganda a little too much without actually looking and considering other points of view and other scientific talks like this. So, I mean, the people that we were sitting with were all retired geophysicists and what have you, and they've made their living doing science all their life. So, you know, they're here, you know, trying to learn more about other disciplines and climate. So I think that maybe the Premier is the one with the closed mind.
We heard from an astrophysicist tonight, and a woman who studies animal populations, and yet she will be discounted by people who have no scientific background, maybe gender studies majors, or Al Gore, who has no background in science, or David Suzuki, who's a fruit fly scientist. Okay. How did we get to here?
We listened to the fruit fly scientists. That's how we got here.
Rachel Notley, her Environment Minister Shannon Phillips, probably the mainstream media, they will discount everybody, all 450 people in this room tonight, many of whom have serious scientific backgrounds, as science deniers. What do you have to say about that?
Well, one of my friends with Friends of Science told me that when some of the opposition wanted to put forth scientists for debate, they said, bring them on. We want to debate them, but they run and hide when we want to debate them, like the Pembina Institute, anybody like that. They're just not up for it. They can't refute this evidence.
You don't think carbon taxes are going to change the weather?
No, they're not. And hopefully, you know, the narrative will change as more and more people wake up to what's really been going on.
So we're just wrapping up here from Friends of Science 16th annual banquet, and as opposed to what the mainstream media does, I actually spoke to the people who were here and got their opinions about what happened here tonight. We heard from Dr. Susan Crockford. She's a zoologist and author, and she told us how, despite scaremongering about the recession of polar ice, polar bear populations are actually increasing. And we heard from Dr. Willie Soon. He's an astrophysicist who told us that, of course, the sun is the major driver of global warming. And despite all the science that we heard in this room tonight, it's guaranteed that these people will be absolutely written off as anti-science rubes. And I think that's a shame. In fact, there was a filmmaker here in the room tonight who, as I was setting up to work, he asked me about what my angle would be tonight. I don't have an angle. I don't have a story to tell. I'm here to tell other people's stories and to get the facts as I see them and to tell you the other side of the story, the side of the story the mainstream media just refuses to. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. I'm here at Friends of Science 16th annual banquet, and I asked the people here tonight what they thought of Rachel Notley. Now, to find out what I think of Rachel Notley, be sure to go to stopnotley.com, where you can get my new book where I make the case for throwing out the NDP. That's at stopnotley.com. And while you're there, be sure to sign up for one of our super fun orange stopnotley.com lawn signs to help me promote the book. Again, that's at stopnotley.com.